Have you ever wondered how to make a project like this? Or this one? Or this cute amigurumi toy? They all start with a circle and develop in rounds rather than rows. So this is where it's important to learn how to make the magic ring. Today, I'm gonna show you an easy step-by-step tutorial on how to make the magic ring. Perfect for all your projects in the round. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel where I share quick tutorials and help you improve your crochet skills. Today I want to show you how to make the magic ring, or magic loop, or magic circle. You might come across different naming convention, but it's basically the same thing. This technique is essential for creating round shapes, especially if you want to develop your skills and create some amigurumi toys or anything that requires a round shape. Just stick around until the end of the video where I'm gonna show you how to start around with single crochet, half double crochet and double crochet, as well as if you're interested in a double magic ring for a better durability. So grab your yarn and a crochet hook and let's get started. So to begin with, let's start with the long tail of yarn. You're gonna take it with your thumb and wrap it around 3 fingers. You create an X on this side, you turn it, anchor with your pinky, and you basically have an X at the bottom and 2 strands of yarn at the top. With your hook, you're gonna go underneath the first strand and you're gonna grab the second strand by pulling out. You have this sort of A that you created with your yarn. You then turn your hook, so you have this little loop here, and then you're gonna grab with your hook this piece of yarn that you're anchoring with your pinky, and you're gonna pull it through this loop. So when you release it, you basically are gonna have this big loop and this piece of tail. This is gonna be important for later. So now that we have our magic ring, we're gonna work 8 single crochet into this ring, as usual, as we were usually doing with single crochet. So we're gonna insert the hook inside the circle, and it's important that you actually work around both pieces of yarn, so the tail and the circle. You can see that now this circle doesn't have a lot of structure, it's not like working on a foundation chain. It's kind of difficult to hold it. It doesn't really stay in place, or at least this is what I usually struggle with. So one thing that helps me, I actually put my fingers inside so I create a little bit of tension so I can then work around it. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So this is 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8. So you find that it actually creates the same V stitches that we usually have with single crochet. And now that we made our 8 single crochet, hold it at the end of our round of single crochet. You take the tail and you start pulling. This will actually close the circle and will make these 8 single crochet to become a round. Pull tight and you're gonna see how you just made a little circle of single crochet. If we want to make half double crochet instead of single crochet in the magic ring, what we are doing is to basically add an additional chain after we made the magic ring. So the first chain that we usually do is, in my view, is basically like the turning chain that we usually make when we work with single crochet. So for half double crochet, we usually do a turning chain of 2. So in this case, we are gonna add an additional chain here in order to get to the correct height for an half double crochet. And then again, as usual, we are working in the same way. So we're gonna yarn over, insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. We're gonna do 10 half double crochet. And again, this first chain 2, the same as it happens with the half double crochet working in rows, doesn't count as a stitch. So we just made only our first half double crochet. So 2, 3 and 10. So again, we have our V at the top as usual. We have our little piece of tail end, and as we did before, we're gonna just pull and close this loop. Pull it tight, don't be worried. And here we have it. So, if you want to close it, you can just go and make a slip stitch to close this loop. And again, you can pull it tight again to close as much as you want. And finally, the same goes for a double crochet. So with half double crochet, we made 1 additional chain to get to 2. With the double crochet, we are gonna get 2 additional chains in order to get to our chain 3 as the starting round. So in this case, we are yarning over, insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So this applies in the same way as working double crochet in rows. So the chain 3 does count as a stitch. So we just made a chain 3 and a true double crochet. So at this point we do have 2 stitches. For double crochet, we're gonna make 12 double crochet into the ring. So we're gonna make another 10. So this is 3, 7. If you feel like the tail is actually getting too short, you can pull it slightly but not close it completely, so that at least you can have still room to complete your round. So 8 and 12. And as we did before, we do have our V stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. Okay. Oh yes, no, because the chain here counts as a stitch. And as we did for all the other stitches, we hold it, take the tail, pull it to close it, and then slip stitch at the top to close our round. Here we have our little round of double crochet. Isn't it cute? Look at that. So now I'm showing you an alternative way to make the magic circle. This is what I call the double magic ring or double magic circle. I do really find it very interesting, especially if you want to have sturdy, resistant circles that are not getting undone over time. Especially if you work on amigurumi projects and you really want that circle to be tight and closed and never to open again. So we're gonna start the magic ring the same as we did before. So wrap it around 3 fingers, create a X, create this loop. But now we're actually gonna do an extra loop so that we are now having 3 loops or 3 strands on the top of our hand. In this case, we are gonna go under the first and the second one, grab the third strand, pull it outside, wrap it around, and as we did before, wrap the piece of yarn that we are anchoring with our pinky and pull through this loop. So you'll find here that now we have the tail and 2 circles. So as we did exactly before, let's do 8 single crochet. We're gonna do the same, and we're gonna work inside the circle and around all 3 strands of yarn. So 1, 2, and 8. So what is happening now is that we have our tail and we have these 2 loops. So one thing to be very careful about, pick the tail and just pull it slightly to see which piece of yarn is actually being pulled. So I can see that this one is the piece of yarn being put. So I'm gonna go at the top when the yarn come out from the stitches, and I pull it so that I actually close the other piece of the circle that I was having before. So just pull it tight to basically close the first part of this loop. And then you pick the tail again, and this time you're gonna pull it to close the second loop that we were having. And again, pull it tight, don't be shy, but as you can see, it's even tighter than before. So the 2 loops method or double loop is actually a good opportunity, especially if you want something that is very tight, very resistant, and you want something that will not get undone over time. And as we did before, we can do a slip stitch and get this very, very, very tight little circle. You have now learned how to make the magic ring, or loop, or circle, any way you like to call it. Let me know which is your favorite way of doing it, and how do you get along with the technique. Leave me a like and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with stitches tutorials and to improve your crochet skills. It would mean so much to me. Ciao!